Good evening. I'm Kay Tokarud. I guess you saw the signs that a number of us came down here today to protest the membership to ICLEI by the city of Santa Rosa. We think it's inappropriate for you to be signed on as a member to an international group that's affiliated with the United Nations and whose intention it is to promote the adoption of policies related to the UN Agenda 21 and sustainable development. I know you've all heard of sustainable development, maybe not so familiar with the term Agenda 21, but that is where sustainable development comes from. And I have read their document. It's really a socialistic type of a plan that feels like individuals shouldn't have the right to accumulate wealth through owning private property. And that's something that has allowed Americans to prosper through their use of their land and, making the fullest use of it. And our nation has become very strong and great because of the freedoms that we have had. And I don't really see a lot of other countries in the world where the citizens have the same degree of individual rights that we have here. And I don't want our country signing on to an international plan that would be homogeneous throughout the world with centralized control. And what they're doing right now with Agenda 21 is they're gathering information on all resources, all people, the sky, the earth, the water. Data collection is what they're doing right now in earnest. And this city is going along with it, and we don't want that. We think the United States should remain a separate nation and that is a superior country and a superior form of governance. And I personally don't want to see that eroded in any way. And I would ask that you have a full discussion of the ICLEI membership in front of and advertise that sufficiently to the public so that you can truly hear what the views are from the public regarding this matter. Thank you.
Jennifer Delaney. Followed by James Bennett.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. ICLEI, a United Nations NGO, plays a major role in promoting Agenda 21 and the transformation of local government. ICLEI stands for the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives, but is now known as Local Government for Sustainability. How many cities and counties belong to ICLEI? There are more than 600 across the nation and close to 150 in California alone. The UN exercises enormous control over the governments, city and county, when they become a member of ICLEI. Many feel this is unconstitutional. The Constitution prohibits states for local governments from entering into agreement or compact with foreign power. Articles 1, Section 10. Agenda 21 seeks to transform traditional America's society. It seeks to change traditional family structure, values, and morality. It seeks to destroy the Judeo-Christian foundation of our nation and replace it with secular humanism and New Age, earth-worshipping religion. Why? Immoral people are too hard to control. They are responsible, use self-control, self-restraint, and self-government. They have no need for big, powerful central government. People who have no moral compass to guide them are in greater need for a police state to control them and to tell them what to do. That is the goal of Agenda 21, to exercise uber control over every aspect of our lives, but to do it in such a way that the people expect it, appreciate it, and are grateful for it. United Nations Agenda 21 will end all freedoms, for all nations, for all people, for all time. Get smart. Kick ICLEI out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Delaney. James Bennett.
You know, a lot of us have a life. The reason we're here isn't because we have some political motivation or something. I mean, frankly, I'd like to be home, putting a little buzz on, watching tennis, maybe learning something new. I already work my butt off. I have 2 businesses. The reason I'm here isn't for any motivation other than to try to get through to you guys. Now, I know that I got my hands full, and I'm a dreamer, but I'm not delusional. To be perfectly frank with you, part of the reason that we're here is to put you on notice and to let you know what you have aligned us with your treasonous allegiance with this UN-sponsored globalist NGO. Now, you might know that there is a law on the books. It's from England. It's been on the books since the late 1700s called Misprision of Treason. It provides for any citizen, much less a public official, to contact an appropriate authority like a judge if you are mindful of any treasonous act taking place. It has no statute of limitations. It's pretty heavy stuff. We do not wish to be adversarial or anything with you. The only thing we want you to do is to live up to your oath, stand with the people, not stand with these globalists, and defend the Constitution, and be leaders and not be followers. Now look, this isn't a little fringe effort. This is going on increasingly at city councils across America. People are waking up. Now, part of our purpose is to let you know that we're going to remember. If you don't listen to us, and if it turns out that you didn't pick the winning team, for lack of a better way of stating it, that we're going to remember. And we're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to want you to forfeit any opportunity to be in public service after we get past this oppressive chapter in our history. You people that are watching out there, all of the overreaching regulatory climate with respect to your property rights and small business, God help you if you're in any kind of agriculture. If something feels wrong to you, in your heart of hearts, if something feels wrong to you, and your public servants don't feel like they're being public servants, this is why. This is the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Peter Cherniff.
Welcome home, Leonard Peltier. Release date May 1st. By the great 40-day California general strike, beginning March 8th, ceasing all the cursed. During the break earlier, I went across over here and I visited the Vets Memorial outside City Hall. So too, Old Glory Memorial in the park. Are you serving love or mammon? It's one or the other, and the other be satanic. Just by saying, hey, love, don't you find it funny that the state says we're out of money and it pours when it rains? So explain me a smart, intelligent response to the billions for those trains. It seems it matters not what the public decries. Their long-standing master plan proceeds with minimal alibis. So this topic of Agenda 21 I have reviewed. And I might not agree with everybody's opinion of that, but I certainly would say that through this strike, we put Rosa Corey in charge of Agenda 21 and let California lead the way. Blessings, one and all. Thank you very much.
Deborah?
Good evening. I wanted to let you know that we have a website called stopthecrime.net, and it's where you can find more information and links for our concerns that bring us here repeatedly. I myself have recently been able to calm down, not be so horrified. That doesn't mean that the horrors that I've come to realize are not with me every day as I look at my grandchildren and my children and understand what the United Nations and ICLEI is doing to the country that I'm a native of, particularly California. I'm a native Californian. And I talk to people, as I said a little bit earlier, from other parts of the country. It's heartbreaking to hear the private property rights being dismantled out from under them. What we're seeing is much like you would see elk being pursued by something that was going to eat them. That predator is taking the weakest elk at the end of the pack or the herd and devouring them. And in that way, same way, we're seeing that with our rural properties. We're seeing people in Antelope Valley who are losing properties that they've built on because of fines, penalties, and regulations. I've got friends in Oregon that are losing properties because of endangered species, and if there's an endangered species that's found deceased in their canal or their channel or their waterway, they're fined $25,000 a fish. That's the coho salmon fines. They're penalizing the people up in Siskiyou County. The U.S. Forestry is penalizing. It is unbelievable when you get out there and you hear of the struggles. We have them here in the very same way. I spoke recently, the California Regional Water Agency came out to the Wells Fargo Center. They're usurping you. You don't realize it. You're being usurped. Everything is becoming regionalized. You will be inept. City councils won't be validated anymore because what's happened is you've signed your sovereignty away under ICLEI. And as Jim just commented, we're trying with our hearts to give you the information, have you take a look at it. I've passed to each one of you this green sheet. It is only one sheet that ties the relationship between ICLEI and the United Nations. It is the most concise information you can have to see that it is tied to an NGO. It's usurping the Constitution in your oath of office. It is. I've also handed each of you this packet. This will speak to the Wildlands Project map that we've brought in several times in the past. That's very important to understand why our roads are being systematically dismantled. So I implore you to take a look at this.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. I also have these I'd like to hand each of one.
You could hand them to the clerk.
Okay, thank you.
Elizabeth Nealon?
Military coup d'etat since 1963 took the class in fires and falls, and the elderly, presented by the approached in an hysterical manner by a woman employee who not
United Nations plan. Again, I'm Rosa. I'm with the Post Sustainability Institute, and our website is democratsagainst-UN-agenda21.com. I really encourage you to take a look at it. It seems to me that you really need to get some information about this. The United Nations plan is an actual plan. This is it here. Agenda 21. They call it Agenda 21 because it's the agenda for the 21st century, and it was called that by the United Nations. You can find the plan on their site, un.org. It was signed on to by 179 nations, including ours, George H.W. Bush signed on to it. It's a blueprint for inventorying and controlling all resources, both human and natural, and all means of production in the world, which means that all of our water sources, all of our land, all the features of our land, and all of us are being inventoried and controlled right now. If this sounds crazy, it is crazy, but I am not crazy. This information needs to be looked at, especially by you, because you are our elected officials. If you're running for office, if you're running for supervisor right now, you know, you want to replace Valerie Brown. She is on the national board of ICLEI, the International Council of Local Environmental Initiatives. That group was created to instate United Nations Agenda 21 locally. It's a global plan, but it's implemented locally. This is really something that we need to be concerned about. I'm very surprised that you won't put this on the agenda. It's not, certainly there are, all kinds of people that want to talk to you about it, but this is real, actual information that you all need to take a look at, and I hope that you do. What we're concerned about is the control and restriction. Private property is not just real estate. You are your own private property. We are our most vital private property. This includes dissent, the right to speak freely. This is all limited under United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development. That is the term that you'll hear. People, act like Agenda 21 is like Area 51 or something. But you recognize sustainable development. And this is an actual plan. And it is happening here in Santa Rosa. And the plan is designated to be implemented. And the regional plans are part of it. You'll find it in your planning department. You'll find the planning guide, the Agenda 21 planning guide that is written by ICLEI and the UN is here in the Santa Rosa Planning Department. Please put this on the agenda so we can have a discussion about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Corey. Lou Tavares? Lou?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the council. As a property owner in Santa Rosa and as these other concerned citizens here have expressed their interest, anyway, we're all concerned about the city, and we want to know how being a member of this international organization affects policy making here in the city. Now, it's a big question, and it's a question that ought to be addressed to the public in this forum. I know that here we can't have a dialogue. You won't answer any questions directly at this time. So let's have it as an agenda item so that people can voice their concerns. They can ask you the questions, and then we should be able, at that point, to expect some answers. Isn't that what City Council and the public are about? You make policy, you explain it to the public. If ICLEI, through that association, brings in some type of grant or other incentives, what are the implications? What are the trade-offs? These are the questions, and we need it on an agenda, as an agenda item, so that there can be a dialogue. There needs to be answers to the public to these questions. And if I may ask a question myself here, if one further, is when could we expect to hear that this item would be placed on the agenda?
We don't respond.
Yeah, I know, no dialogue. That's why we need it on the agenda. That, you just answered my question.
We're adjourned.